Hello everyone and welcome back to another Benny Has a Problem, and this week's problem is that 6 months ago I was hopelessly addicted to social media. But whenever you go online and try to find answers to how to get away from it, the general response is, what you need to do is get yourself off social media, brother. You need to go down and just delete all of it, because that's what America is losing to, social media. And you hear this type of reaction and response from people currently on a podcast talking about social media addiction, followed by comments down below from people going, yeah, I got on social media like 2 months ago and it's been great. And I'm like, then how are you commenting on this clip on a shorts platform about social media addiction? I wanted to look at it from a more realistic perspective, because the idea that you can just completely cut social media out of your life, I think in this day and age, is completely false. You might think you don't use social media because you assume that it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, but do you happen to use a chat platform to talk to your friends, such as Discord? Do you happen to peruse Twitch and communicate with people through that means? Social media encompasses anything that is an app in which you communicate with other people. And for the people that say, no, I have no method on my phone, I am completely disconnected and off the grid, is your significant other? Most people that I quizzed about being on social media and would come back with, yeah, I'm not on social media at all. It's not a problem at all. Normally got their social media fix from a significant other that was on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. Because what you don't understand in this day and age is that every business, every show, every video game has a social media presence. You get coupons to the local grocery store from your Facebook ads, and you can go ahead and discover the latest, greatest deals on H&M.com when you're trying to buy fun cargo pants by using your social media. So if you are the one individual that has successfully completely disconnected themselves from social media, let me ask you this. Are you watching YouTube right now? Because YouTube is considered a social media platform, and if you answered yes, that means you're watching me and you're on a social media platform. So I will admit that there are different degrees of social media use. You could be the person on every single platform, or you could be the person only on Facebook. But social media use being eradicated, as all of these people like to claim as possible, is almost impossible in this day and age, and that's what I want to look at today. So first off, let's go ahead and look at why would you disconnect from social media? Well, if you haven't watched any of those podcasts or read the comments, social media use at an extreme level is directly linked to negative mental health and a low self-esteem. The rationale behind that is simple. If I go online, I see the best of everyone. I see the pictures of them in Bali. I see the Twitter posts of everyone at a convention I wish I was at. I see clothing in an ad that is directly targeted to me that I want to own, but I can't afford. Social media makes you long and want everything else around you. So having a massive amount of it in your life just makes you want more and more. You have a longing for all of these things around you that you can't acquire. And everyone else in the world doesn't post their negative thoughts. They post the best of the best, or they're just completely angry and online, but we're gonna talk about that in a minute. That's a different person. I'm talking about the people that post the best of the best. Now, I found myself 6 months ago in a situation in which I was actually addicted to social media, which is how I figured out a way to kind of break away from that, but monitor social media. If you're unaware of who I am, I go by Benny. I run a channel known as Comic Storian. We're just shy of 3 million subscribers right now, and I've been working on the internet for 13 years at the point of making this video, which means that social media has been very large in my life at times and very small in my life at times. But the idea of completely eradicating social media is nigh impossible because I need to do it for my job. Even hiring other people to handle our social media arms still leads to me using social media to some extent. So I needed a better answer than what everyone tells you, which is just disconnect, because that's everyone's answer. So many videos out there are, I quit social media for 6 months and here's how I feel. Let me make a YouTube video to tell you about it. And you're like, isn't that like counterintuitive to what the plan is? Because if you truly disconnected, why is there a video about it? You're just hoping to achieve likes and you're hoping to achieve people watching the video. Now, that is what I'm trying to do here. I get the irony of me telling you this, but I haven't quit social media. That's what I'm here to tell you. So first off, how did I identify that I was even addicted to social media? So about 6 to 7 months ago, I would find myself going online through Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I would check what's going on Reddit, and I would check what's going on with a lot of the YouTube comments. And what I was doing was looking for opinions to use in my podcasting, because I do a lot of podcasting. But what that would lead is to me going down this doom-scrolling rabbit hole of finding something that irritated me, and I would just start scrolling through angry. It got so bad that I would find myself getting angry at the dumbest things. Like someone having a really poor opinion about something would just make me angry. And I would go to my friends and be like, I saw this tweet and it was so bad. And then I'd create my own echo chamber in the real world, which is basically like creating your own echo chamber of hating things on social media. So I realized I kind of had a problem because I would wake up in the morning and I would start off by checking my Twitter responses and I would check Reddit. Basically, the ones that would really trigger me were people that would insist that I must watch YouTube all day and know all of the other YouTubers. So then they would argue with me points from other YouTubers, and I would just be angry because I'm like, I don't even know what's going on. And their response is, of course you don't. We know you're watching all of them. And I'm like, what is happening? And it would just make me angry. So I felt I needed to somehow cut that out. I looked up what is considered a social media addiction to kind of see if I even quantify into that, because I started to realize the problem. No matter what I checked, I was getting angry. Instagram, Facebook, Reddit, all of them just made me mad within 10 minutes. I was mad at somebody for something that I didn't agree with, and I really wanted to post an angry post about it, but I was like, I'm better than that. I don't need to post the angry post. But all that led to was me spending 3 hours telling Dan why I'm mad. So the first thing, as I can tell you right there, do you spend a lot of time thinking about social media and planning to use social media? Well, as I just admitted, when I would spend 3 hours telling Dan how I would have stuck it to that guy good, yes, that was an issue I was having. The next one was, do you feel urges to use social media? And this one was a kind of a blatant, big, like, oh, that's a problem. Every moment I wasn't doing something, I would pick up and scroll something. And I realized that was a problem when I was doing it at a stoplight. Now, I don't agree with using your phone while driving, but I am the guy that might respond to a text at a stoplight if the stoplight is long enough and put the phone back down. But when I didn't have someone to respond to, I found that I was checking my Twitter notifications or what's going on Reddit. And I'm like, now that's a problem. And the next sign that you have an addiction to social media is that you're using it to forget about personal problems. And I'll admit, there's times that I felt just upset or angry about something, so I would go scrolling TikTok or YouTube Shorts or something along those lines. Do you often feel restless or troubled if unable to use social media? Now, this one was a bit weird, because I'm like, no, I don't feel bothered if I can't use social media, but with my ADD, I do get antsy if I don't have something to fidget with, and my fidget device was my social media. And then the last one is, does using social media have a negative effect on your job or studies? But since my job is social media, not quite. So that one didn't really affect me. So the first answer I had was, okay, well, what I'll start doing is I'll just do what everyone says on the podcast or on all these comments.
So have you ever done DMT?
It didn't dawn on me that they're using social media to promote this. I was like, they all say, just stop. No more TikTok, no more YouTube Shorts, no more Reddit. I would get on the podcast and I'd be all proud of myself. I'd be like, guys, I quit social media. All these losers are hitting me up asking why I'm not tracking what's going on social media, but I've quit social media. But did I really? No, because what happened is I would say I'm not logging on to Twitter, but I would fill that exact same time of span of time using Instagram. And then I would catch that and I would stop using Instagram, but then I would scroll TikTok. And then I would complain that TikToks are dumb, and I would replace that with YouTube Shorts. And then I would complain that YouTube Shorts is dumb, and then I would replace that with Reddit. And I realized that instead of using all the social medias, I had created a round robin of swallowing each and every one of the social medias until I got annoyed with it, and then letting it just social media all over me. So the next plan was, if I go to the bathroom and I find myself trying to open up an app on the phone, immediately delete the app. That was the next plan. I will immediately delete the app. So I'll go use the restroom. Oh, I'm going to check Twitter. Delete it. I'm going to the restroom. I'm going to check Reddit. Delete it. And so eventually this phone became sterile. But what happened is I did what everyone said. Cut yourself off from social media. But my job is YouTuber/podcaster, meaning I need some form of social media in my life. I also then began to feel, I wouldn't say withdrawal symptoms, but disconnected. All of my friends are now sharing memes and TikTok links and Facebook links. I got one guy in our group that will send you every TikTok known to mankind and another guy that will send you every Instagram post, but I couldn't open any of them. So you begin to get this weird FOMO of being left out. You wanted to be a part of it, but now you're not a part of it anymore. So I had to come up with a plan, and my plan was, what is one thing that everyone, including me, has lying around their house most likely? An old phone. The old phone is the way that I decided to stay connected to social media, but break these habits. So what I did was I grabbed an old phone, I downloaded all the apps on it, and I plugged it into the Wi-Fi. And I have that when I'm at the house and I need to use social media. I can check it. But what I realized is I wasn't carrying them both around, so I was slowly breaking my addiction of social media. If you're curious what I did put on this phone to do in the toilet, it's Kindle. I read books. This at first worked. It really did. I was able to do my job, stay pseudo-connected, and check the memes my friends were sending me. But I wasn't checking it 24/7. I was managing my social media time, which is what the point of this video really boils down to. You can't quit social media, but what you can do is manage your social media in a healthy way. As the months have gone on and this 6-month experiment has continued, I'm happier overall because I don't feel the urge to check social media. When I get on social media now, if I see something that makes me mad, there's no underlying desire to argue with that person because I don't feel permanently connected to the social media. That is what I noticed to be the problem. If someone wanted to argue with me, that seemed like the biggest thing I needed to handle. I needed to argue with this person and tell them that they're wrong. But the moment it wasn't just at my fingertips, that urge went away. I actually wanted to make this video because this was more of a personal experiment to see if I could separate myself from social media, but I realized recently that it's kind of worked across the board. I click those memes that I told you about on TikTok, and it'll open up TikTok on that phone, and I'll watch the meme. And then I'll scroll, and almost immediately, my brain shuts down on TikTok. It's not interested anymore. It used to be back in the day, and anybody who scrolls TikTok or YouTube Shorts or any short form platform such as Instagram Reels, it's a weird dopamine rush. You might spend 45 minutes looking for that 60-second awesome clip, but you get that dopamine of being like, this is so funny, I can show all of my friends, and I'm the cool guy that found the best meme of the day. But when you haven't done that in a couple of weeks, because you're barely on the Shorts platforms, that desire is no longer there. So what I wanted to make a video about was my experiment with managing social media for 6 months. It's almost impossible to quit. Even if you think you've quit, someone's linking you stuff or telling you things that they read on Facebook. And if you're some Amish person out in the middle of nowhere who is completely disconnected but somehow watching my video, you are officially on social media. Welcome to the future. But this was more of an open forum discussion video. And I wanted to know what you guys think down below. I wanted to get your opinions on social media usage, managing it, and how you could in general enjoy it, but not hate it, because that is what stemmed this entire experiment. I'm Benny, I got problems, and I'll bring you more next week. But yeah, if you refuse to get off social media, you can find us on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, YouTube Shorts. I think we might have an Instagram Reels account. There might be some weird Chinese account I got signed up for. I don't even know anymore. There's this thing called Threads. I don't know what it is, but we got an account. Go follow us.